Hey guys, what's going on? Troy and Mountain Man Treasure here. Thanks so much for stopping by. I know we took a couple of Mondays off, but we are back and we're back in style because we got Dave, the Midwest picker here. I actually tried to get Joey tonight. Joey not available, but we got the next best thing with Dave. Actually, I think I see Joey over there hanging out on the side. How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really, really good. And all of you guys, you need to subscribe to Dave. I actually unsubscribed this evening so that I could subscribe again.
That's awesome.
Because I wanted to say I've subscribed. So I've subscribed today to Dave. He has fantastic videos. There he is.
There he is.
We're going to talk about Joey later. He has fantastic videos, and you're going to learn a lot by watching Dave. The man knows what he's doing. So thank you for subscribing. If you do tonight, I think you're at 909. So I want to see how many we add to you.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be cool.
You're pushing towards 1,000, man. What's that like?
Well, I like organic growth. I've had a lot of ups and downs. I'll do a live on somebody's channel, get 40 subs, and then within a week I lose 25. So it's great that people sub, but really, if you're going to come back and come back and come back, that's what I really like. So organic growth, as you know, is always the best. But if I hit 1,000, that's great. But if I don't, that's fine too. I just enjoy the slow growth and seeing new people and answering questions and stuff like that. It's a good time.
Yeah. How long have you been doing YouTube now, Dave?
Well, I started in 2008 putting my son's football videos on my YouTube channel. Some aquarium videos, nothing real serious, but it was May of 2019 that I decided that I was going to go just whole hog and create content like weekly or every 4 days. So probably May of 2019, I took my YouTube channel seriously and started creating good content.
Okay. So it hasn't been that long then. So to pick up 900, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the lives definitely help. Courtney BOLO buddies. I was like her little partner doing the BOLO buddy thing, and she just kept pushing and pushing, and I just got tons of subscribers. And What the Hales and Dominic Primetime Treasure Hunter and Kat. I think twice I've been on her live. So yeah, lives definitely help a lot. People get to know you. It's not so random. They're like, oh, that's a cool guy. I'll go subscribe. Or they'll say, oh, that guy's old and weird, and I'm not going to subscribe. So the lives really help advertise your channel.
Yeah, and I'm actually on. I was telling Dave, I'm actually on Kat's channel tomorrow night. So I'll be hanging out with her on her live tomorrow. And now I can't remember what time that starts. So I got to find out from her when I'm supposed to show up. But I am on Kat's show tomorrow, so come on in and hang out with us. That'll be a lot of fun. You've been, Dave. What do I need to know? You've been on that show before. What do I need to be prepared for Kat?
Well, she has a trouble with her internet connection, or at least she did before. I think she would go even through her phone as a hotspot. So be prepared to take over the show when she loses her signal and it's just you or some other guest. And feel free to jump in and talk about what sold on eBay or whatever for like a minute, because then she'll come right back on. So I've had to do that a couple
radio, times. So I'm used to taking over. I can take over a show.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We got 11 folks in here, people filtering in. Kat usually actually has a premiere tonight, and so we slowly start to pick up everybody after she's done. But we were talking about it before we started, Dave. How are your sales kind of slowed down a little bit lately?
Yeah, I'll either do really good and sell 5 to 10 items in a week, or I can go 2 weeks without a sale at all. Right now, I'm selling like 1 item a day. It's like a slow trickle. Okay. And I have, 332 items in my eBay store. So that's good for me, 1 a day.
And you have some more. It's not like, it's not the stuff that's always selling. You have collectible type stuff.
Yeah, I just recently listed like 3 DVDs, which is uncommon for me. But yeah, I have collectibles. Some old, some contemporary, but it's the weird one-off. A lot of glass, a lot of lapel pins, coins. Things that somebody will discover it in 2 or 3 months after I list it. It's not cell phone cases and iPod chargers and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think we're kind of opposite. I have all sorts of stuff. I mean, I have some collectibles in there, but I just have random. Somebody said today on my What Sold video, like, nice eclectic group of sales. And I'm like, man, that was my store. Like, these bins have no rhyme or reason over here next to me. I like just picking up all sorts of random stuff. That's what I enjoy. Do you sort of trend toward the collectible though?
I do. I don't really have a particular niche. I'll sell anything that I can make a buck on, but I'm learning as I go. If I go to a thrift store, flea market, estate sale, I'll see something that I know is quality. I know it has value. It's only a buck, but I have no idea what it is. I just can't tell. It's a typewriter with 4 keys on it. What is that? I don't know, but I'm going to buy it, go home, Google it, spend hours researching it, and then try to sell it. So I experiment a lot that way. But yeah, I'd probably say 75% of what I sell is probably vintage collectible.
Yeah, and I think I trend generally toward the vintage stuff, or I enjoy that more anyway. I think it's neat. I was showing Dave beforehand. I bought today a spoon. Turns out it's from the 1930s. I mean, spoons aren't super collectible. It's a Mickey Mouse spoon. It's silver plated. It's kind of cool. It's going to go for about $10, but I just think it's neat to be able to hang on to for a while something that's 90 years old. I think that's cool. And
yeah, definitely.
Like you have, I was watching on your video today. I think you're talking like lapel pins. Those are neat.
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22. I mean, they're one of a kind. Once they're gone, and that's why some people don't ever sell anything. If you ever go to pick somebody, do a private pick or whatever, they'll always say that's not for sale, that's not for sale, that's not for sale. Well, it's because they know once they sell it, they'll never find it again. And these lapel pins are made in the USA. You'll never see that ever again. They're handmade. You'll never see that again. And they were made by my dad, so you'll never see that again. So I'm keeping hundreds of them, but I'm selling some of the best ones because there are lapel pin crazies out there. And when they see them, they know exactly what it is. And 35, 40 bucks, yeah, no problem. They pay right up for it. So definitely keeping a bunch, but it's one of those difficult things, like my 48 star flag that's over here. Do I sell it? Do I keep it? Will I ever find another one again? You just don't know.
I found one of those, actually. I found one at an estate sale of he was a naval officer, and picked that up there. I actually ended up donating mine to, there was an organization basically raising money for, it was a veteran support service and suicide awareness for veterans. And they were having like a silent auction. And they came on my radio show, and I thought, you know what, I've got this flag at home. And I asked him, I says, what about it? And so he said, oh yeah, we'll take that. And so, I think I paid $10 for it or something, $5-10 for it. And it raised, I think he said $95 during their auction for their thing. Nice. So that's fantastic. I was super excited because I had the same thing. I was like, do I sell it? Do I keep it? And I held onto it for a while. I enjoyed it. And then I found the right home for it.
Yeah. I guess if I found one with less stars, if I found a 46 star flag or a 40 star flag, then I would sell that one and keep the older one. But so yeah, that's always difficult when you find something that's not common and you're like, man, I don't know, should I sell this? Should I keep it? But it's always a hard decision.
Yeah, well, and I kind of enjoy the hanging on to stuff for a while. I actually had a Star Wars figure sitting on my desk behind me here for weeks, and I thought, you know what? Okay, now it's time to list it. And it actually sold inside of about 2 hours after I listed it. So there was a little bit of a, man, you should have listed this a while ago. But that is kind of a neat thing about reselling is you actually get to own a little piece of history for a while, and then you move it on. And it sounds corny, but I mean, it's true. You put something in the right home, and that's kind of neat.
When you sell something that fast, do you automatically think you sold it too cheap?
Sometimes, but I mean, this had steady comps. So, I mean, I knew what it was worth. I actually, it actually was a back and forth because the package was a little beat up. And so I did price it underneath what the going rate was, just because I knew the package was beat up, so a collector wasn't going to pick it up. It was going to be, somebody that wanted to take it out and play with it. My
Oh,
wife actually sent me a message and said, thank you so much for being flexible with your price. My son is going to absolutely love this.
mm-hmm.
And that's kind of neat. It's kind of neat to get those messages.
Yeah, I love getting messages from buyers. I usually cringe when I get a message because I'm like, oh no. But there was those. I had Corvette lapel pins, and this woman down in Tennessee, where I guess where they make the Corvettes, her and her husband own 10 Corvettes, and their living room is like a shrine to Corvettes. Every die-cast poster, spoon, everything with a Corvette on it. She found my pins, and I had 10 of them for sale, and she wanted to make a deal off of eBay. And I said, well, I can't do that. They're already listed. If you send me an offer, I can work with you that way. So I ended up selling her 2, and she messaged me and she was so excited. And she said, we have a lapel pin collection, like 50, and we're going to put them on cork board and frame it. And it's going in our living room. And the 2 I bought from you are going right in the center. And not only did she send me a photo when she got it and displayed it of all the lapel pins, she sent me like 10 pictures of her entire house, all of her Corvettes out in the driveway. I mean, she was a really cool person. And you don't hardly ever get that from a buyer.
No. And it's just kind of neat connecting those people with something that, you hear from people
Mhm.
like, I had this when I was a kid. I've been looking
Mhm.
for it forever, and you're thinking, I paid 50 cents for it last Saturday. So
Yeah.
for them, it's like a lifelong mission.
Mhm.
It's kind of a
Right.
weird juxtaposition. But what
Mhm.
is for the folks that don't know you, Dave?
Mhm.
What is your story? What's the story of the Midwest Picker?
The story of the Midwest
I know
picker.
that's a very broad question, I know. But
Let's see.
you I guess start off like you have a day job. You're a part-time guy.
Yeah, I'm a full-time RN. I've been a nurse since 1995. Started out clinically, but now I worked my way up into management, and I'm a chart auditor now. Work from home thanks to the Rona. Yeah, husband, father. Kind of. I've been selling on eBay since 2002, but extremely part-time. I think I had 167 feedback just 2 years ago, and now I've got 560. But I just dabbled in eBay, never took it real seriously. And then I think it was around April of 2019, my wife and I were shopping, and we were at a shoe store, and they had everything 70, 80, 90% off. And there was these headbands that were like 90% off, and they still had the tags that said, $40 down to
Yeah.
3. And she said, I wonder if you could sell that on eBay. And that's when the light bulb went off. And I thought, you know what? I see 90% off clearance all the time. I said, yeah, sure, why not? So I bought a few, put them on eBay, and of course, I had to look up my password. I didn't remember what it was. Things have changed a lot, and that kind of got the bug started. So I started going to flea markets, thrift stores, and then I really started ramping up. And I thought, well, maybe I should buy a store subscription. So I got the starter store, I think it is the first level. And that just wasn't enough. So I talked to the wife and said, what do you think about $20 a month for um, what do they call it? Basic store.
Basic
And
store.
she said, yeah, if the math is right, do it. So I got the basic store subscription. And then this was probably June, July of 19. Um, researched something on YouTube, and I landed on a reseller video. I'm like, reseller video? What is that? I had no idea what it was. And I think it was Rally Roots. And so I watched it, and I thought, holy cow, they do this as a business and they're making money and they have employees. So that kind of led into one video after another after another. And I started discovering reselling videos. And then my sister said, I'd like to get into eBay and start reselling. And I said, okay. So I started writing down everything you need to know, how to list, how to research, how to shipping, how all that works. I'm filling out this legal pad. And she said, well, why don't you just make a video and put it on your YouTube channel that you don't do anything with, mark it as private, and then just
Right.
send me the link. That'd be a lot faster than, writing it all down. So I started doing that. And she said, well, why not just make it public? Why keep it private? So it was really her idea. And then that was around May of 19. So really sad, pathetic videos. This wall was blank behind me. The lighting was all horrible. I'm using a flashlight for lighting. So yeah, I started out with how-to videos, and made my first what sold on eBay video, and it just kind of took off. Definitely watching other resellers on YouTube helped a ton as far as production value, content value, what people want. I bought Adobe Premiere editing software, so I could have a nice intro and do the good editing and stuff like that. And yeah, it just kind of took off from there.
Yeah. D obviously saw your video today.
Hmm.
Flipping particles. You saw it
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
we're not even going to tell people what that means. That's
Yeah.
he's not being mean. You got to go and you got to go watch Dave's video.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, we're gonna let that hang out there.
Oh, that's barbecue sauce, I think. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, when did I have to ask? When did Joey come into the picture?
Well, I started doing online because of D. I'm watching her lives every day at noon, and she does a lot of local auctions, curbside pickup. And I thought, well, I'll do that too. So I looked into it, and there was a couple places in Muskegon. And man, once you go to their website and you start seeing how cheap this stuff is, you get hooked. And they have what's called a soft close. So if you try to snipe it, they add more time to the auction.
2 more minutes go on the end.
Yeah, oh yeah. So you think you've got something, like oh, Sears Craftsman wrench set for $1. Oh no, someone's gonna go in there and start bidding, and then the bidding war starts. And I saw these mannequins. Now I didn't know that they were styrofoam, but they were just these two mannequins for $4. I thought, well, if I sell clothes, how much cooler does it look to put it on a mannequin and take a photo than to hang it on a hanger on the back of your door? And I thought for $4, why not? So, anyways, I won Joey and Leonard for $11. I have two of them, and so now I'm gonna take new photos of all my clothes. I don't have that many clothes, a couple T-shirts and stuff, but I'm gonna put the T-shirts on Joey and take a picture and change all my pictures on my eBay store. I think they just look better on a mannequin than they do on a hanger. So that was the reason for that. And then he turned into a consultant, so he's an unpaid volunteer here in the eBay office.
Yeah, I like it. I've got the prospector back here,
Yeah.
so we all got to have our partners, right?
Oh yeah, I like him. He doesn't talk very much. A little bit, but not
Right.
much.
Yeah. Well, he speaks when he needs to speak. He says when he's
Yeah.
said.
Keeps
Yeah.
the kids out of the office too because they're freaked out about
Well, I
it.
mean, I do. I wanted to ask you too because you had a recent video, and I think it was really, really interesting about Legos, like counterfeit. You
Oh,
end up with some counterfeit Legos on your hands.
yeah.
Um, and people can go watch that video and sort of get the whole thing. But it was just sort of interesting that you got an education. You thought you had a winner, and turns out you just had some knockoffs.
Yeah, I thought winner, winner, chicken dinner, and it was a bag of chicken bones. I know the obvious Gucci handbags and silver coins, those are counterfeited all the time. I never thought something inexpensive would be counterfeited, but with today's technology, and I'm not picking on China, but they have the industry. If we can make Legos or Sweden can make Legos, they can make Legos. So somebody somewhere in this world has a machine and they just inject the plastic, they have a mold, and they're like, hey, these Star Wars minifigs are worth money, so let's make 10 million fake ones. So they flood the market with fake ones. I had no idea. I'm just ignorant of Lego counterfeit anything. So when you are bidding online, the photos aren't really super clear. And I thought,
Yeah.
man, a bag of stormtroopers for only $17. What a steal. I could sell 2 or 3 of them for $17. So I get them home and I'm looking at them. I'm like, yeah, it feels like a Lego, looks like a Lego. The paint is not real crisp and sharp. And then I should have known because I went to, I can't remember the name of the website. It's called Brick Link or something like that.
Yeah.
And they have every Lego ever made. And I'm looking for mine, and there's 18 stormtroopers, and they're all different. And mine just wasn't exactly like any of them on that website, but one of them was close. It was a clone trooper. And I thought, okay, I'll go with that. So I listed it, and immediately within a half hour, a very nice Lego nerd, and I love nerds, I am a nerd, messaged me and said, hey man, I just want to let you know that listing you have up, those are all fake. And he was really nice. He could have reported me to eBay. He didn't. And I thanked him. I said, thank you very much. I'm going to take it down right now. I immediately took it down, and I went back to that website, and I'm looking at mine and I'm looking at theirs. And I'm like, dang it. these are all fake. I could
Yeah.
not believe it. So lesson learned, if you're at a garage sale or anywhere, and you get all excited because you see these Lego minifigs or any kind of Lego, now you have to be careful and you have to pay close attention. Does it say Lego on it? Does it feel like the hard special plastic that they use? It's all patented and it's perfect. And is it a softer plastic? Is the paint on the minifig not crisp? Is it kind of running together? And now you got to be careful when you buy those. So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
funny because everything is counterfeit. I was talking with Dave before the show. I picked up a pair of Converse today, and I picked up a pair of old. Well, I thought they're old. I still do think, but I got to do more research because I got to make sure they're not knockoffs because people
Yeah.
knock those things off to
Hmm.
sell them. And there's a lot of stuff you can look at the old Chuck Taylors to figure out. There's different little things on there that are wrong usually, like Coach handbags. You look at
Hmm.
the leather inside, the printing, the imprinting on the leather. If there's a misspelling or the spacing is off, it's not Coach because they have
Yeah.
quality control. They make sure that thing is perfect. So,
Hmm.
well, everything's right other than that weird capital letter.
Yeah.
That's not Coach. They would destroy
Hmm.
that. They're not going to send that out. Same with the Converse. I've been doing some research, and like on the bottom of actual Chuck Taylor Converse, there's a little star on the bottom of the shoe. I had no idea it looks like a little asterisk. Had no
Hmm.
idea it was there, but it's not there on a lot of fakes because
Yeah.
they're trying to put out fakes, but like your Legos, they were a little off because they're gonna make it close, but they don't have the money or the time, or it doesn't
Hmm.
make sense for them to make it exact.
Yeah. Yeah, the counterfeit items they have to manufacture as cheap as possible, otherwise they're not going to have any margin left. And the scary thing is with coins, for years I could spot a counterfeit Morgan dollar from a mile away because they were normally cast, and a cast coin looks like garbage and you can tell. Well, now and then back in the day too, they would only counterfeit the most expensive, seated Liberty dollars and bust silver dollars, things that are worth thousands of dollars. They would counterfeit, actually make them out of silver, but the quality was just horrible. Well, now they're counterfeiting common Morgan dollars that are worth 28 bucks, and they're stamped in dies. They're not even cast. So if you put a fake up to a real one, I mean, you got to have like a microscope to tell the difference between a counterfeit one and a real one nowadays. And those counterfeits, they end up at flea markets. People buy them. You can weigh them. The grams is correct and everything, but it's totally fake. So they're getting very sophisticated when it comes to counterfeiting coins to the point where you have to go to a reputable dealer and buy a certified coin by
Yeah.
PCGS or something like that, or NGC, before it's even worth your investment. Because I won't buy a coin probably more than 50 bucks if it's not certified. It's just that bad now.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's volume for them, right? They might not
Hmm.
make but a few cents on each one, but if they're printing out millions of them,
Hmm.
they'll make their money. Uh,
Yeah.
you've been doing this for a while now. What
Hmm.
one thing when we were chatting sort of about, hey, what do you want to talk about? You were saying, hey, let's try and figure out what the next big thing is.
Hmm.
I know that, Dave. You're gonna give us the BOLO of the future. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Don't write this down, and don't say Dave said after you empty your 401k and buy all this stuff.
Midwest Picker certified.
Yeah, I did write some stuff down, but this is called speculation, which is a fancy Latin word for gambling. Real quick, my dad speculated back in the '90s. He put all his money into Joe Camel stuff and die-cast semi trucks, thinking they're going to go way up in value in the future. They really didn't, but one of them actually is kind of so. Speculating is a dangerous game unless you can afford to lose the money. If you can lose 10 bucks and not lose sleep over it, go ahead. And if you're wealthy and you can lose 1,000, we'll go ahead. But it's really hard to have a crystal ball. But I did have a couple ideas that I wrote, excuse me, that I wrote down. The first one is made in the USA hand tools. And those are kind of obvious. You have Snap on, SK, Craftsman. You can still get those reasonably cheap if they're used. Garage sales, estate sales, especially, not too expensive. My prediction is in the next year or 2 or 5 years, they are going to become more scarce and in more demand. Tools are getting cheaper and cheaper. I'm not just picking on Harbor Freight, but they're made so inexpensively,
Yeah.
people just chuck them and throw them away. A microwave oven used to be $1,200. Now it's $100, and if it breaks, you don't call a repairman, you just buy a new one.
Yeah.
Same with the hand tools; they're so inexpensive. Um, Today they're in demand, but I think in the future they're going to be even more in demand. The made in the USA, guaranteed forever, super high quality hand tools. If you can get them cheap now, buy them and hold on to them, because when you can't find them anymore, they're going to go way up in value.
Yeah, I started to pick up some of those here and there. I don't know a lot about them, but I'm trying to learn. We had Julian, the Bearded Thrift Machine, on a little while ago. That guy makes a lot of money off of tools.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing this full time now, and he's selling vintage, Craftsman and was it Thorson and stuff like that
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah. I just sold a Thorson socket for $18 for one socket.
It's crazy. And I've picked up
Mm-hmm.
some of them. I actually have a little coffee container full of some old Snap-ons that I have to clean and sort. But it's just that takes a little bit of time to go and do those. And I haven't forced myself to sit down and make that the project of the day yet.
Yeah, and I learned too. I tried to sell sockets in groups of 5 or 7. I couldn't give them away. But when you list one socket, that one that somebody's looking for and can't find, they'll sell like quick.
Right. Yeah, because they have a complete set minus one, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a great one. Because I think it's good now,
Yeah.
so it's not like people are going to buy them and they're not going to be worth anything, right? Like people can buy them and flip them now. You can sell a single vintage Craftsman wrench. One single wrench will go for $10.
Mm-hmm. And my guess is that, if you can hold on to it, if you have storage space, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, people are going to be scrambling to find them, and they're not going to be able to find them anywhere. Either people are going to hoard them, or you just can't find them. And I think the demand is going to continue to go up as the quality today continues to go down.
And the nice thing right now is you can find those even at the tail end of garage sales and estate sales. A lot of times, is people leave the hand tools behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. What else you got, Dave? BOLO of the future.
Right here, my grubby little hands. The next one is kind of a known thing, but old tech, new old stock, new in the box. So it doesn't have to be that old to be old tech. I bought this at a Goodwill the other day, and I didn't even know what it was, but it was so cool and looked really nice. I bought it. It was $5, but this is digital radio. So I had to research that a little bit. It's not satellite radio. Digital radio is free. Came out, I guess the technology is around 2014, 2015, but this is a home dock for HD radio. So if you have the receiver, you just plug it in this dock in your kitchen, plug it in. It's got a remote control. It's got the antenna, all the doodads in the back. I didn't even know what digital radio was. I know what satellite radio is. But yeah, as soon as I listed this on eBay, man, it got a lot of attention. Instant watchers, instant views. I have it listed for like $24.95 plus shipping on top. But if you see stuff like this, that's old tech, and I don't know if you consider it old tech yet, but I would hold on to this and wait, because you're not going to be able to find these in 3 or 4 years. And people still have the receiver they paid good money for, and they're like, well, I only use it in my car. I'd love to use it at home. And they go on eBay or Amazon and like, boom, here's a home docking station. So anything old tech like that. A story, I went to a flea market and I found some Black & Decker cordless scissors, which I didn't know existed. It looked like a cordless drill, but it had the scissor on the end. Well, Black & Decker only made it for a few years and discontinued it. And I bought it for $6, new in the package. I had no idea there was a whole society of people out there that love this and want it, but they can't find it. I sold it for $49.95. People went crazy for it. I was getting offers like crazy, cha-ching, 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 and I just waited because I thought, if I list it for $49.95, I paid $6 for it, and I'm getting an offer every hour. I'm not taking any of those offers. I'm going to wait. And it sold in a couple days because people wanted that old tech that they loved, and it broke, and they got to have it, so they go to eBay to find one.
I wonder if that's the case. Do you think with like the blank media? Like right now, I just pick up the blank VHS tapes, cassette tapes, whatever. And when I pick up a recorder or, whatever, I put it with it just to, sweeten the listing a little bit. But at some point, those are going to get really hard to find, I would think.
Yeah, I have I don't know, probably 2 dozen sealed brand new blank VHS tapes. And same with cassettes. If it's new and sealed in the package, they're always going to sell. There's always going to be a demand. Oop, sorry about that. There goes my phone. So yeah, old tech that's still new old stock or new in the package. You can buy it and flip it today. You can buy it and save it and wait a couple years. It's just going to go up in value.
Yeah. I like a new old stock anything, really.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Like today, I picked up a sealed, and I have no idea. It's probably not worth much, but it might be worth something because it's sealed. It's a old VHS tape, Bugs Bunny cartoon classics from 1990, still sealed.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's worth much, but it was worth taking a shot at when it was still in shrink wrap.
That kind of goes into my next category.
Like, no, you're not going to find that anywhere.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's my next category is what you just mentioned. Now, some people might be turned off by this and say, I'm not going to do that. But this is a broad audience. Me and Troy are talking to the world, so maybe somebody will do this. But anything politically incorrect, it could be a concert T-shirt. It can be Bugs Bunny cartoons before they edited out all the violence and cigarettes and explosions. It could be a lapel pin like I sold today or a couple weeks ago. Anything that's considered politically incorrect or off color or whatever. In the future, my prediction is it's going to be harder and harder and harder to find this stuff. Now, you might not be able to sell it on eBay. eBay might ban anything with a swear word in it or whatever, but you can sell it somewhere. So yeah, old cartoons, lapel pins, T-shirts, bumper stickers, anything that's kind of like, I don't know, that ain't so cool. Well, 5 years from now, it could be worth a lot more money. So
yeah,
that's an area if you're willing to dabble into that.
Yeah, we got Media Marauder. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. He's got a fantastic channel. Go check it out. He's saying one thing that sells great is the VHS-C adapters. Yeah, that's another thing. We had one of those old VHS-C cameras. They're like small little tapes. You put them. It basically you put them inside what looks like a blank VHS tape, and that's what lets them play. My assumption is people have lost or broken those. Those are. I think I have one actually downstairs in my storage space for our old one. I could probably go dig that out and sell it.
Yeah, I sold one of those, a Panasonic that was new in the package. I got for about $2 at a mom and pop thrift store because they thought nobody would want this, and I sold that on eBay for $89.95. And it just, I should have put it as an auction. I was dumb, but yeah, those adapters are gold.
Well, and I sold. It was in my what sold video. From today, I sold an untested. I don't even know if it works. I sold an untested clicky keyboard today for $28 plus shipping. Or I sold it the other day. It was in today's video. It was completely untested. I mean, it was in good cosmetic condition.
Yeah.
But this is an old piece of technology that I paid $1 for. Farmer Mark's in the chat. I actually got it at his garage sale. Decided I'm not going to buy an adapter to test it. I'm not going to go through the hassle. I'm just going to list it. And I had 30 or 40 views inside of 20 minutes. A couple of watchers. I had like 4 messages about it inside the first day. And it sold in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, those are the hot items. I'm starting to get back into doing auctions again because they're just fun. You get, I did, I think it was in my video, I did a Griswold cast iron pan. I paid too much. I paid $16 for it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start the auction at 99 cents.
You're a braver man than I am.
Why not? It's fun. I do that with coins too, just for giggles. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy auctions now and again. I don't think you can count on them. It's moved so much more towards a buy it now kind of platform. At least I think so. I mean, some things still do very well on auction.
Yeah.
But I mean, the one thing that the 99 cent does is it's got to bump up that algorithm when you're getting so much attention on your listing, right?
Yeah, it's a gamble, but it's a fun gamble, if you can afford to do it. I'll do it every once in a while. I own, I don't know, maybe 50 Morgan silver dollars. And if I have a double or something I don't want, I'll put it as an auction at 99 cents just because it's funny. And your phone goes crazy with cha-chings because people are thinking, "Oh, I can get this for $5 or $7." It never happens. It'll always sell for a decent amount of money.
Yeah. Joey Bada Bing is in the house. I forgot to shout him out earlier, and he caught it without me saying. The drink tonight, Joey, purple.
Joey 1K.
Appreciate that, Joey, about the comment about my what sold today. This will show up tomorrow. It actually sits and circulates overnight and processes, so this will show up on Tuesday. Another what sold coming up on Wednesday. And if you haven't checked him out, Joey's actually got a live right after us coming up here in about 25 minutes. So go over to Joey Bada Bing 22, check out his live because his live is always a lot of fun. A lot of people in here tonight that have fantastic channels. So thanks for stopping in. Richard has a question, I guess for both of us. Can we talk more about auctions on eBay? You probably do more than I do, Dave.
Yeah. That was eBay's bread and butter back in the day. But there's still a lot. There's hundreds of thousands of auctions still on eBay. It's just more focused and concentrated on particular categories now. It used to be you would auction a pair of Levi's or you auction a pair of earrings or whatever. Well, those days are over, but there's still a lot of antiques, a lot of coins, stamps, collectibles, vintage items that are auctioned every day. And it's a lot of fun. If you can source something for free or super cheap, auctions are a great way to go, especially if there's a bidding war. The price can go really, really high. I never set a reserve. I never do those extras that eBay charges money for. No, I don't go 10 days. I don't do anything where eBay's like, hey, for 20 cents, you can do this. It's like, no, I'm just going to do 7 days. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's
like on the reserve. Do you just start it? Because the reserve, for people that don't know on auctions, you can start, like Dave could start his pan, his cast iron pan at 99 cents, but the reserve is $25. So you could bid 99 cents and it'll say, congratulations, you're the high bidder. You've not yet met the reserve. So if you win, you won't win. I mean, it's the most ridiculous thing. Wouldn't just start it out where your bottom line, right?
Yeah. And I've done that too. And you don't get a bid until the last 5 minutes and then you get one bid for $25. So it depends on what you want to do. But yeah, that's a natural reserve, is just start it where what the price you want. So yeah, I did that with horse racing programs. I auctioned a bunch of those, but that takes research too. You have to look up comps, see what they're worth, how many are selling, or is it the only one on eBay? That's another factor too. If you're selling a Hot Wheel or an antique or ephemera of some kind, and there is none on eBay, and I have several things on my eBay store, it's the only one on eBay, that's a great time to put it as an auction, because people do what's called saved search. So if you're really into something, if you're a collector, let's say I collect lunch boxes and I want a $6 million man lunchbox that's a particular color, I can search for it. There's none on eBay, but then I can hit the little heart and save that search. So eBay will notify me if anybody lists it. So it's amazing when you put something up to auction and all of a sudden you get all these instant bids and attention and questions like, how do they know so fast? Well, people that are serious about buying, they have what's called saved searches.
Yeah, and I've done like the buy it nows where somebody clearly had a saved search, like an old Nike. There's like a single stitch old Nike t-shirt, had a couple holes in it, not great condition, but it sold inside of, I don't know, 5 seconds of me listing it. It was ridiculous. It sold instant. And my price was above what the market said it should be. So I don't think that I priced it too low. It's just I must have priced it just right. And somebody had a saved search and it popped up and they wanted it and they hit buy it. I mean, it sold. That was the fastest thing I'd ever sold. I hit post and I didn't even stand up from the chair before it sold. It was quick.
Yeah. Yeah, those are exciting times. And when I did eBay back in the day, sometimes I was totally ignorant. I had no idea what I had. My dad would hand me something like, oh, here's a little spinning top I had when I was a little boy. Go sell it on eBay. And I'd do an auction, starting price $5, and all of a sudden, ching, ching, ching. Yeah. Back then, we didn't have the app that cha-ching, but people were bidding like crazy. I'm like, what's going on? And it would sell for $100. It's like, that's a lot of fun when you do that.
Yeah. Well, Mark, and now I don't remember the numbers. Mark, put them in the chat. Mark's in town with me here, and he came on some vintage Levi's that, I mean, they weren't even worn. These things were like Big E vintage,
Mm.
still crisp. I mean, what, like 3 or 4 pair, Mark, or 5 or something? I think 3 were about the same condition, and there were 2 that were still good but not great. And they sold for hundreds of dollars a piece at auction. And he just one after he put one up because you don't want to saturate the market.
Right.
So because this is something that's rare. So put one of them up and he let that thing run its course. Then he put the next one up, let that run its course. If you find a lot of something that's unique, don't put them all at once. Don't put a quantity listing. Put one of them up because you want to make people realize that these are rare. Yeah, 2 of them he sold at $700 for a pair of jeans and 1 for $5. It's crazy. And those, I think, Good Sam, I think he picked those up at. It's a local thrift, so those are $15 a piece. It's what he paid for those, which is crazy. I mean, it's an amazing score. But that's the thing that you would want to put it on auction because there's going to be a huge demand for it. If you just find a poster of whatever, a Star Wars poster from 2015. It's not going to go to auction. There's not enough people that are after it. Same with something that's super obscure. It might be high end, might be collectible, but it's going to take the right person to come around and eventually find it.
Yeah.
You want to set a low auction price and have them come in and buy it for 99 cents.
Yeah, we call those unicorns. Original artwork. If it's a one of a kind, why not put it at an auction? It's hard to price those things. You can't comp it out. So if you have a piece of art that somebody painted and it's just the only one, you could guess and list it for $50 as a buy it now. But why not start out as an auction first? It could be worth thousands for all you know. And if nobody bids on it and you could try it one more time, and then like, okay, fine, buy it now for $99 and see what happens. But that's another item too. But that's my dream, my fantasy is to go down into a salt mine and find a little closet full of Levi's that have never been used from 1895. Holy cow, would that be worth some money?
Yeah, salvage redline Levi's. That's what they were that Mark had found. Okay. Unbelievable. Jane wants to know how you get around the new payment system rules that say you can't sell coin, silver, gold.
Yeah.
You want managed payments yet?
I can talk about that. I tried to go on managed payments. I kept getting turned down, and there's a lot of rumors out there about eBay and that everybody has to be on managed payments by July, and I knew that was not true. Every correspondence I got from eBay is the majority of sellers by the end of 2020 will be on managed payments. It's like their goal. It doesn't mean it has to be or it's going to be. But every time I applied for it, I got shot down. And my guess is because I've got like 15 coins in my eBay store. So they just kind of pushed me aside. Maybe it's my volume of sales. I don't know. But eventually I got the email inviting me to join. So I applied, gave them my information. That was a week ago, and they still haven't gotten back to me yet. The problem is the payers. I think it's Apple Pay and Google Pay don't allow coins and bullion and silver bars and adult items. So eBay's like, well, you know what? We're just not going to allow that. Well, what they should do is allow it, but when you go to check out, they'll say you have to pay for this by PayPal, debit card, or credit card. You can't use Google Pay or Apple Pay, and limit the buyer to their options. But instead of doing that, they took the nuclear option and said, if you're under managed payments, you just can't sell this at all, which is really stupid.
Well, and they're kicking off listings. Actually, I just see, and Richard, can you put up Media Marauders channel link up when you get a chance? But yeah, he just said they ended a $5 bill that was autographed by Reba McEntire because it's currency, right? And I actually saw it was Craigslist Hunter had a video the other day that he had several listings that they just kicked off. He had like an old note on there that it has no value today. Like it's not worth anything, but the bots found it and thought it was currency. And so they're just kicking off listings. If you're managed payment, I'm not on managed payments. I think I'm going to be one of the last folks in because I use Web Interpret. It's a service. It's a partner with eBay. It's their cross borders program, I think is what it's called. And so they take some of my listings and list them. I'm listed in like 7 different countries. In addition, so I'm on eBay Australia, eBay Germany,
Oh,
eBay
okay.
Hong Kong, eBay,
Mhm.
well, that doesn't work under managed payments. You can't list your stuff on other eBay sites while
Yeah.
using managed payments. And
Mhm.
so I contacted Web Interpret and I'm like, hey, I'm paying for your service. What's going on? Do you know? And so they reached out, and apparently eBay says until that's compatible,
Mhm.
they won't move the people that are in it. I basically get grandfathered into PayPal until they find a solution.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing. They can work out all the kinks until they
Mhm.
welcome me in.
And eBay does communicate with people and saying we're working on it. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. For a while, global shipping program didn't work, and there's all kinds of kinks and problems, and they're trying to work it out. Maybe they will allow coins and currency and bullion eventually somehow, but for now, until they know how to do it, they're just not allowing it. So that's millions and millions of dollars in sales. So I'm sure they're behind the scenes are saying, hey, how can we fix this and go back to the old eBay but manage payments? Because that's what everybody's talking about. Most 99% of sellers are like, man, I wish eBay was like it used to be. It was simple, it was easy. They didn't have all of these things banned, and it was just, I don't know, different.
Yeah.
Back in 2002 when I started, it was kind of the wild, wild west. So they did need to make some reforms and changes, but it's almost like not fun anymore. But I'm pretty sure I can still sell coins on Macari, other platforms. There's other ways of doing it. But I think eventually eBay is going to fix that and come around.
Well, yeah, they want to make their money too, right?
Hmm.
Like they're not going to cut off just that part of of the money making machine for them.
Hmm.
What is your, I guess, for the lack of a better phrase, what's your sales model, Dave? I know you sell a lot of first class stuff. I do too.
Hmm.
I prefer the light, easy to ship, easy to
Hmm.
package stuff. That's a lot of what you do too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, probably the majority of my items ship first class. If they don't, I take advantage of priority mail flat rate. It might not be the cheapest, but I like it because it's quick, it's insured. I think it gets treated better by the post office. I think they just take better care of it because they know it's insured, so they're not going to sit on it and kick it across the room. I've just never had any bad luck with the post office, either first class or priority mail. The track record for me has been fabulous. So why fix it if it's not broken? I know there's pirate ship and there's other ways of doing it to save a little bit of money, but I just like priority mail. But yeah, probably 90% of my items are first class. I just go for those that are really small. I can see things in a flea market or an auction and say, I know how that's going to ship. I know how that's going to ship.
Right.
And then, I buy those.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind selling bigger stuff. I can package it. I know how to do it. I just
Hmm.
don't want to. And so a lot of time I'm getting better at it because sometimes I'll see something, I see the profit that
Hmm.
a big, a big appliance, kitchen appliance or a DVD VCR, and
Right.
it's $100.
Hmm.
I bring it home and then it gets home and I'm like, man, I don't want to ship that. I don't want to deal with
Yeah.
it. So I don't list it and it just sits. So I'm getting better about leaving some of that, knowing, you
Hmm.
know what, I'm part-time. I can afford to leave that because I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's hard to be disciplined, and I am getting a little bit better at not buying stupid things. I know D is laughing right now because I buy sand and crafting supplies that I can't pay people to take. But I was at an estate sale and I saw a big, huge Betamax machine. I looked up comps and they're like $80, $90, and I'm
Yeah.
like, do I really want to buy this? And do I really want to ship that and charge $40 shipping and go through all? No, I don't. So I just left it and I didn't buy it. Somebody else can buy it and flip it, but I prefer the brooch that's this big that I can flip
Right.
for $30 and mail it first class.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I
Hmm.
love selling. That's why I think I like selling DVDs and VHS tapes and games and
Hmm.
all that stuff. It's so easy to photograph and ship and list hats. I sort of lean towards the what's easy type of stuff. So I enjoy those. Hey, Flips Finds Funds is in here. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate that. We got 40 people in here, Dave. You're driving a crowd.
Wow. Maybe Cat ended early.
Yeah, I think you did. But we got 10 minutes left before we send them over to Joey Bada Bing. What do you think? You were talking about some things that people can source now and hang on to and get money later. That's sort of that next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have more things on that list that you want to share with folks?
No, I want to keep it to myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
No.
there's one more thing, and people laugh, but and maybe you can pronounce this word and I can't. It's tobacco collectibles. Do you know that long Latin tobacco word? Tobacci, Ania.
Anya,
So
Anya,
yeah,
yeah.
something like that. Um, yeah, that was big in the '90s, and it kind of took a dive a little bit. But believe it or not, people still smoke and they still collect that stuff. And I've got some sitting right next to me here. I got for free. My father passed away and inherited all these matches and raincoats and die-cast trucks and little Hot Wheels. So the Joe Camel, the Marlboro, um, they merchandised like crazy in the '90s. I mean, everything they had. Um, Cigarette lighters and wallets and wristwatches and you name it.
Yeah, they went full
Um,
NASCAR. They branded everything.
everything, yeah. So I thought, you know what? I got a box full of this crap. I almost threw it away. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to start listing it. And these big boxes, 500 count of matches, I sold for $24.95, and I almost pitched
Wow.
it in the garbage. So yeah, the wristwatches, the matchbooks, the raincoats. I mean, all of the tumblers and the koozies and all that stuff. It's starting to make a comeback. The prices are starting to go up. So the Joe Camel stuff that people laughed about and you couldn't give it away, now it's starting to go up a little bit. Some of it is very hard to find because so many people threw it away. So yeah, I think in the next year or two or three, if you see a box full of Joe Camel stuff for $1 and it's just packed full of stuff, grab it,
Yeah.
hold on to it for 2 or 3 years because that's really going to go up in value.
Well, and they're not. Marlboro also sells very well. You can find the old, because you used to save. It was basically like saving the box tops. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you send those in and you buy stuff. Loyalty program. You used to. It was the Marlboro Country Store, is what they
Mm-hmm.
called it, and they branded everything from hoodies to backpacks to.
Oh yeah.
And I actually picked up a. I don't remember what we sold it for, but I picked up a Marlboro hoodie
Mm-hmm.
last summer at an estate sale. It's very understated. I mean, it looks like
Mm-hmm.
just a red hoodie.
Yeah.
Very small spell out on the sleeve, and then I think on the chest, and it's sold in days.
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
that stuff sells fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, I still have the Joe Camel semi truck that's in this plastic display case. And when I looked up comps 5 years ago, $12, 13, I thought, what? It's only worth 13, $15. Joe Camel Hot Wheel in a case. It might even be behind me, but I don't want to turn around. Yeah, that stuff is slowly starting to climb back up. Non-sports trading cards with Joe Camel on it, all that crazy stuff.
So, just as important, before we finish this thing up, Dave, I think stuff to avoid, because people will go chasing something they think is the
Uh-huh.
hot thing. One of those things I think right now is the Nintendo Switch. I think if people
Oh.
are getting in late on that,
Mm-hmm.
those things went really high for a long time because it was a short supply right at the front end, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody wanted one, couldn't get one. Well, if you've got them, I think it's time to sell them and get rid of them, because stores are starting to be restocked
Mm-hmm.
and the value is going to go down because people can just go to Target, go to Walmart, pick it up. They're not going to
Mm-hmm.
pay $150, $200 more now because they can go to the store themselves and get it before they
Mm-hmm.
could. So the scarcity is just about gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Switch is one that needs to get out of your store quick. What do you
Mm-hmm.
got?
Yeah, I would agree. Nintendo is not stupid. They can retool and revamp and say, "Holy cow, we didn't know the demand would be like this," and they could manufacture 1 billion of them. And then what's going to happen to the price? It's just going to plummet. So, Nintendo's probably not going to stop making those anytime soon. For me, anything as far as condition. So, if you have any ephemera like a book, a calendar, a restaurant menu, if it has like mildew on it, if it has massive tears in it, that's not anything worth keeping. It's not going to go up in value. It's probably going to go down in value. So condition is everything. So be very careful with that. If you have two books and one is moldy and missing pages and it's got some flood damage and the other one is fine, just get rid of the other one that's in poor condition. No one is going to pay anything for that. It might be worth $2 today. 20 years from now, it's going to be worth $2. So condition is everything. So don't hold on to anything that's in really poor damaged condition. Just get rid of it now. It's taking up space. But yeah, anything, I'm trying to think of something, anything disposable that people just throw away. We were talking earlier too about tennis shoes. I destroy my tennis shoes and I throw them in the trash. So if you have shoes in stock, hold on to those, because in 4 years or 5 years, somebody's going to say, "Oh, I remember those shoes. You can't get them now,"
Yeah.
and they're going to buy them. So that's one good thing. But anything that's mass produced in the millions and millions and millions, probably if you have it, sell it now and get rid of it.
Yeah. Cajun thinks that the switchers are going to go up at Christmas. I don't know, man. I just think there's going to be so many in the stores. It kind of depends on, how much stuff they got here before COVID shut everything down, because a lot of stuff is being made with Chinese parts. Now those factories are back up and running now, but how backed up are they? I'm not sure. So there is a chance that this wave is going to get sold, and then coming up on Christmas, they can't get more because they're behind. That it's certainly possible. There's a long time bikes you couldn't find a bike in places, because where were they coming from? They're coming from China, and we couldn't get them. There were, our local bike shop, the cheapest bike they had for a while on the floor was like $450, because they couldn't get the basic bikes in to their store. But now they're starting to show back up again. So you can certainly chase stuff, but I think I've done it a couple times, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it's gambling.
Yeah, and people are fickle too. What if people just decide that they just don't want bikes anymore and they want to switch to a stair stepper or a treadmill? You don't want to get stuck with a garage full of bikes. If the fad kind of goes away and people don't want them, then you're stuck with a bunch of bikes.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to chase the hot toy a couple times, and every once in a while I won, and every once in a while I got stuck with a toy that never increased in value online more than it was in the store. And so yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough chasing the hot toy. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And I think I've decided I prefer finding the random old vintage stuff at garage sales.
Yeah, I'm not very good at retail arbitrage. I've tried it. I'm okay, but I'm not that good. I prefer new old stock, unicorns, vintage stuff. But more power to you if you want to drive around to 25 different Walmarts and buy the latest Monopoly game and then flip them. If you can do that, go for it. I personally don't have the time or the talent. I'm not any good at that.
Yeah, well, and I don't have the area. I mean, if I wanted to go to 25 Walmarts, I'm in Montana, man. I don't know if we've got 25 Walmarts.
Right.
We probably have 25 Walmarts, but I'd have to stop in quite a few towns. I mean, our biggest city has 2. So, and that's a couple hundred miles to my east. Yeah. So I'd have to drive a lot. Before I want to be respectful of your time, man. And I know Joey's got his show coming up, and I love sending people from here over to Joey's show. What can people expect for folks? Joey, there he is right there.
There he is.
Joey's live show is a hoot.
He's stalking.
Yeah, you got to have a live show with Joey.
I should, yeah.
I think it'd be fun. Just do a 1-hour live with Joey. Have the live chat and everything. I think it'd be great.
Somebody behind him doing the voices.
I just think just put him on the camera for an hour, like those aquarium videos, to soothe cats. What's ahead for your channel, man? For folks that are watching you now, or folks that I know we've had a couple sign up. I saw D at one point say you were at 912.
Wow.
So I know you've gained a couple during the show.
Sweet.
What do people expect going ahead for your YouTube channel?
Well, if I would quit buying stuff, I want to get a GoPro, and I keep saying that. I've probably been saying that for a year, but eventually I'll get a GoPro, and I'm going to do more videos out in the wild at flea markets, garage sales, live auctions. I hope they come back, because they're a whole lot of fun, especially the auctioneers. That makes for great video content. And then I'm redecorating. I don't know how much people care, but see this big blank spot on the wall there?
Yeah.
I commissioned an artist that lives near me to make a one-of-a-kind piece of art, and she's almost done. She'll probably be done today or tomorrow, and it's going to go on that big spot can't give it away what it is, but your mind will be blown. 3 feet by 3 feet oil painting.
Man, I don't know if I want to see you as a centaur.
It's not me. I will. That's a spoiler. It is not me. But you'll have to tune in to find out because it is going to be super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm at some point I'm going to do a little tour of our eBay space here on the YouTube channel because here about a month ago it was a wreck. It looked like an episode of Hoarders, but now it's actually because of Roxanne, my lovely wife, who's been running the chat backstage. This thing's looking more like an actual little mini warehouse. I've still got my clutter around, but her influence is definitely in here, so I'm going to give people a little bit of a tour in here. A tour of your space too.
I do about every 3 months. I'll do an office tour. Whoops, don't want to drop the webcam, but yeah, it starts about there, goes around there, and now I got this big empty spot there, which you'll have to tune in and find out. Heck, I might even do my first live video just to premiere this oil painting.
I like it. I think you ought to. Well, man, I appreciate you coming in. I think people got some really good information, not necessarily from me, but definitely from you tonight. So I appreciate all you guys stopping in. Medium Marauder says we ought to see his last video, how messy his office was. We should have taken before and after because it was not good in here. It was my system, and it worked about 90 to 92% of the time. I knew where things were. But that one time when somebody bought something that I paid for a year ago, and then you're like, where is that? What Walmart bag that I hung on the hanger on the hook? Like where? So we're doing much better now.
My biggest problem is the empty boxes. That is like Mount Everest over here off camera.
Yeah, it's hard, man. When you got limited space, it is tough. But I mean, I appreciate you so much for stopping in tonight.
Oh yeah.
We had 40 plus folks in here. Mary wants to know where the flag is. It's behind me, Mary. I got two of them. Dave's is in front of him.
My flag is right in front of me. Yeah. But you can watch my video. I think the last 2 or 3, I show the flag.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody for coming in. If you still are online, you want to go check something out, you want some background noise while you list or while you pack stuff up or whatever, Joey Bada Bing 22. I'm actually not even sure who he's got on tonight, but it usually doesn't matter because it's a fantastic show and he's a lot of fun. So go over there and check out Joey's channel, check out his live. And that's all we've got tonight. Next Monday night, guys, Jesse Shops was actually commenting on one of my videos today about, man, you do well with international sales. We're talking international sales next week, live right here on the live show. We're going to be talking. I mentioned Web Interpret. I've got one of their senior sales managers is going to be joining us to talk about obviously their service and what it is they do. At the risk of sounding like I'm peddling a service off to you and trying to sell you guys something. I guess in one sense I am, because it's resulted in thousands and thousands of dollars for us. I think it's a fantastic and a very underutilized service. Not enough people know about these guys. You make more money and hardly do anything extra. They do all the work for you. It's an incredible service. So we're going to talk about their service, but just in general, international sales, how that works, about, there's a lot of concerns that people have about it. She's going to address those. So I think it's going to be a really interesting show. Come on in and ask questions because Claudia is going to be here to answer them. I think it's going to be really cool live. I'm excited. International sales is something that scares people. For me, it's made us a lot of money. So do you sell internationally, Dave?
Global shipping program. That's all I've had time for. I know you can do direct. I've just never tried it.
That's well, stop by next week, man. We're going to talk about it. It's super easy.
Okay. I'll do that.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good show. I know we're going to get somebody out there. Nikki, Gary and Nikki are in here. They've started doing direct international after chatting with them. And they're making sales pretty regular. She's messaging me saying, have you sold to this country? Is this country safe? Is this country? It's pretty neat seeing all where you sit. I sold a pair of boots to somebody in Norway the other day. That was kind of fun. Golf club covers to Finland. I mean, it's. I didn't know they golfed in Finland, Dave.
I'll ask him, Joey. Do they golf in Finland? He don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah, Green Bay Packers golf club covers. I don't know.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter to me why they want them. It just they paid for them.
Maybe they're a reseller.
Maybe the Finnish reselling market they're higher. I don't know. Guys, thanks for stopping in tonight. I'm going to let you go. And like I said, go check out Joey Bada Bing 22. Check out Dave's channel. If you haven't, you can find him at midwestpicker.com. That's got all of his links on there for Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. Let's get him up to 1,000. He needs to be at 1,000 and make him money off of these videos. Hey, thanks for stopping in, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I had a great time. And if you need a fill in at last second with a cancellation, just message me and maybe I can jump on for you.
We'll do it. Absolutely. I'm
Sure.
going to do that, man.
All right.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody.